As far as personal betrayals go, this one is right up there. A woman who stole almost £86,000 from a cancer charity, which was set up in memory of her best friend's daughter, has now been jailed for 3 years. Lindsay McCallum pleaded guilty to 2 counts of fraud over a near 10-year period.
Yeah, the now convicted fraudster even read the eulogy at her friend's daughter's funeral before stealing tens of thousands of pounds from the charity Rainbow Valley. It was set up to honour Joanna MacVicar's legacy after her battle with leukemia. We're going to chat to Joanna's mum, Angela, in just a moment, but first, here's more on that betrayal.
She was my best friend and I trusted her implicitly, as did everybody. She fooled everybody.
7 years after losing Joanna to leukemia, Angela MacVicar enlisted the help of best friend Lindsay McCallum to honour her daughter's legacy with a charity to help those with cancer and their families. Inspired by Joanna's love of rainbows, they set up Rainbow Valley. But over 8 years, Lindsay was stealing charity funds behind Angela's back, taking nearly £86,000. McCallum also stole nearly £10,000 from another charity, the Anthony Nolan Trust that Joanna had campaigned for on GMTV.
I'm appealing for everybody. There's thousands of people like me. That's the thing.
Yeah. What is it that you're searching for?
I'm searching for a bone marrow donor.
After pleading guilty to 2 fraud charges early this month, Lindsay McCallum was jailed for 3 years. The judge said she had betrayed those with cancer and had brought devastation to those that trusted her. After losing her daughter and being deceived by her best friend, Angela is determined not to let the fraud tarnish her charity's reputation and to keep helping people living with the disease.
And Angela joins us now. Oh, my goodness, this just makes you sick to the stomach.
Yeah, quite unbelievable.
Isn't it unbelievable? The charity sort of began around the time of your daughter... The fundraising began around the time that your daughter was on GMTV, didn't it?
Yeah.
That's when you started raising money. Just tell us about how important it was to fundraise, how important that money was.
Yeah, it was extremely important for the Anthony Nolan Trust because the more money they have, the more people they can register. It's so important that everybody gets onto that register because if you need it, you expect the donor to be there. But unfortunately for a lot of people, the donor isn't there. So Joanna was campaigning to raise the profile of the importance of joining the register and getting the funds in.
Yeah. And then, of course, you lost your lovely daughter.
Yeah, Joanna didn't make it.
And you have a charity set up effectively in her name, the Rainbow Valley.
I love the rainbows.
She loved the rainbows. Tell us about the moment that you discovered the woman with whom you had been campaigning and fundraising in your daughter's memory was the person who was stealing all this money from the charity.
When it was discovered, I was in complete denial.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I was completely...
It can't be her.
Well, it can't be anything. It can't be at all. Yeah. You know, when I had brought back accounts to look at, to try and work something out, who had paid for things, she had left the charity for 2 weeks previously. And it was my other daughter who worked in the office. She called me back and she said, "Mum, you have to have a look at this." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, no, look, she hasn't been very nice to me lately, but no, she's not a thief. Can't happen.
This is Lindsay, and one of your daughters who works in the office said, "I can see chunks of money going from our charity accounts into Lindsay's account."
Yes.
And you just could not believe it.
No. I fought against it. I was like, can't be. She's a lot of things. Can't be.
Well, you see, I don't blame you because I was thinking an hour or so ago, before the show started, of 3 or 4 of my closest friends, men and women, and I was thinking it is impossible up here to imagine them stealing money from either me or from a charity that I was running. It wouldn't happen. It couldn't happen. They're lovely, good people. And this was your best friend. Yeah. I mean, how long had you been friends for, and how had you become close friends?
We had been friends. We had met through the Anthony Nolan Trust.
Right.
And we worked very closely. Joanna loved her also, and we worked very closely together.
And confided in each other as friends?
She knew everything. I know things about her that other people don't know, and she knows things.
So you trusted her with all your secrets?
Yeah, absolutely. We would be on the phone at 6 o'clock every morning, even when we were on holiday. Chatting 3-4 times a day at least. It was just
So now
intense.
you must question everything, mustn't you, about what she felt about the relationship?
Yes, yeah. I question, you know, I scratch my head and I think, did she ever really love Joanna? Did she see us as a means to an end? I just don't, I don't know. But I do not want to allow that to make me not trust other people.
No.
I won't allow.
Very difficult. Very difficult after a betrayal of that scale.
Yeah.
I mean, you went to the court, didn't you? You went
Yeah.
to the trial.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't meet your eye, would she?
No.
She knew you were there?
Well, she was in video link when it was there. It wasn't a trial. She pled guilty for her
the
sentencing.
case, yeah.
But when she was going up for her plea, she was there, and no, she didn't look at me.
Do you know what she stole the money for? I mean, it was best part of £90,000.
Yeah.
What did she use that money to do?
Well, according to the police, it was for luxury things. It was clothes and flights and various things that just luxury.
Over a period of what sort of time?
There was no lump sum taken.
So it's just small amounts of money?
All the time. Sometimes twice a day.
And not over a number of years?
Yeah. Since
Just dipping her hand in the till, basically, taking out the cash. That's what it boiled down to.
And have you ever been able to have a conversation? When you eventually confronted her, what did she say to you?
She was very calm, and she told a lot of lies. She said at first it was expenses, then she said that the charity had been in trouble and she put in a donation, and that was her trying to claw it back. And
did you find any evidence that...
Oh, no, and I said that to her. I said, there is no... What did you put it under? And she said, I didn't put it under my name. And then eventually I really backed her into a corner and said, bring in, it's gone into another account. It's got a strange sort code. It looks like an Irish bank, because she set up another bank account to filter. And I said, you need to bring in everything. It's gone into the wrong place because it's not in our official, because this was a separate account. It wasn't our official bank account.
As you chopped down her lines of defence and got closer and closer to the truth of it, did she act all outraged that her best friend was accusing her of theft?
No.
Ah, that's interesting, isn't it?
No,
Did
she
you think
wasn't.
that'd be her first reaction? People, what?
No.
You're accusing me of stealing from you? What do you mean?
Eventually she said, I can't come in to sort it all out because I did it. I didn't do it for me, I did it for my daughter.
Oof.
And
was this all in the one conversation?
that was in the one line.
My God.
And she knew that would stab me in the heart because I love her children, I love her family.
Jeez.
And but it was just all lies.
So how did you get the police involved?
Well, when I discovered it was a Thursday evening, and I had to go to the police the following day because I went to get, my head was reeling, I couldn't have spoken to anybody. So the next day I went and got further statements for other years. I only had got 1 year and I could see nearly 20,000. And then I had to go and get the rest of the statements and went to the police, which was, I felt I was betraying her.
I was going to ask you that, yeah.
I felt it was so, I wouldn't say it was the most difficult thing to do because I lost my daughter, but...
Did you tell the police it was your best friend?
Oh, yeah.
They must have found it quite hard
to
take that information from you.
Yeah, the detective, Will Hogg, he was just amazing. He was just wonderful.
When you had that conversation with Lindsay about the fact that you believed she'd stolen from you and from your charity and effectively from your daughter's memory, she must have known you the next step might be that she'd be reported.
Yeah, well, she phoned me the next day and she pleaded with me. And she actually said to me, if you go to the police, it will ruin me, it will ruin you, and it will ruin the charity.
And you're determined it's not going to ruin the charity,
Not
aren't
a
you?
chance, not a chance.
So what do you do? Because, of course, people will hear the name of the charity, associate it with this fraud, perhaps, in some ways. And you want to say to people, that's over, that's dealt with.
Absolutely.
She's convicted.
Yeah.
Behind bars. What does the charity carry on doing? What's the important work that Rainbow Valley do for people?
When Joanna was ill, she was always very grateful for the NHS and, you know, the fabulous treatment she had, but she felt there was something missing in between her appointments. And that was, she used to say, these people are wonderful, but they're expert in my disease, and I'm more than a disease.
Yeah.
So she said, who looks after my mind, body and soul? What do I eat? What do I do? What can I do? What can't I do? Positivity. You're talking 20, 30 years ago. We all know now how important being positive is.
Yeah.
But she wanted somewhere to go.
Yeah.
And what we do is we help people take control back from a cancer diagnosis. We help them live in the moment. We want them to thrive, not just survive. And unfortunately, with 1 in 2 people now being diagnosed with cancer, it's massive, you know. So more people survive cancer now, which is really important.
Yeah.
But we want them to thrive, not just survive and worry about what their next step is or what the future's going to hold. We want them to live in the moment.
Just one last question about Lindsay. She's doing time now, but she'll be out at some point. What would you do if she tried to get in touch with you?
Gosh, I've not even thought about that.
What if she got in touch and said she was sorry?
Oh, she won't say she's sorry.
No.
She apologised in court to her family, but never. And God help her family. I love all of them, and it's not. People have to remember it's one person that did this,
Absolutely.
and they were in the dark as well. They just were devastated.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're incredible. And you talk about living in the moment and thriving. Considering everything you've been through, you're a very resilient woman.
Yes.
Well, Rainbow Valley will survive, and we will continue to help as many people as possible.
I'm damn sure of that.
Angela, thank you
you.
so much. All the very
Thank you.
best. Good to
Thank
talk to
you.
you this morning.